I'm happy to be here again. It's good to see you and so many familiar faces. And candidates, I'm really happy to be here for you tonight. Tonight we're going to have a debate for Andover Township Committee. We have 3 candidates vying for 2 seats. And I would like to introduce them to you first before we get into the rules so that those of you who don't know, we have Ben Bensley, Ellsworth Ben Bensley.
Evening.
And we have the mayor, Mike Lensack.
Good evening.
And the deputy mayor, Janice McGovern. And so the 3 of them will be telling you what they're all about tonight and how they feel about certain issues, and you should get to learn a lot more about them. Now, the debate has been scheduled for, I'd say, an hour total. We are going to have opening statements first, 2 minutes per candidate. We've already chosen lots for that. So the first person to make their opening statement will be Ben. The second will be Janice, and the third will be Mike. In between that time, once they do that, in between then and the closing statements, we're going to ask them questions, and they have 1 minute to answer each question. If they feel like they want to have a little rebuttal back and forth, I'll allow that, and that'll be about 30 seconds per rebuttal. I hope that you're writing questions down. We don't have too many up here from you yet, so please feel free to write them down.
Please.
And Mara will come around, here we are, and pass them to me. Now, the timekeepers are sitting right here, Susan Paranti and Louise Bagby. They're members of the League of Women Voters of Sussex Highlands. For those of you who aren't that familiar with the League, we're a nonprofit, non-political organization. We don't support specific candidates or political parties, but we do seek to educate the public on certain issues in government policy. So we've been around for 95 years, literally, the New Jersey League has, as well as the National League of Women Voters, and we're open to membership to men and women. So please feel free, if you want to learn more about us, to speak with these ladies. I believe they have some materials with them. That being said, I think we're ready to get started?
Ready?
Okay. So we will start with the opening statements with Ben.
Evening. If you don't know me, my name is Ellsworth B. Bensley Jr. Most people know me as Ben. I want to thank you all for coming. Anyway, I was born and raised in Sussex County. Been here my entire life. Today, excuse me. Today I am married with 3 children, 3 beautiful children, and a beautiful wife. I attend St. Joe's Church on Sunday mornings. I belong to the Knights of Columbus, great organization. I hold a New Jersey State real estate license. And in my time when I have a lot of that is, some of the things I like to do is help seniors, people in need, volunteer my time, helping them with all sorts of things. Anywhere from a ride to the hospital, the doctor, he's not working, shovel the walk, whatever I can do to help them. Carry the groceries. I've done plenty of this. I'm bringing this up because a couple of years ago there was a couple of articles that I should volunteer my time. Also took the time to clean Lake Island here a few weeks ago. It was scheduled for 12 young Girl Scouts, 2 leaders. I did that because I think I should give a little more to the town. Anyway, I decided to run for office. Like I say, I like helping people. Other things I also do is I attend foreclosures. There are many. Today there were 22. It's unbelievable how our property value is here. And people are actually paying here. And need I say taxes are through the roof. People are leaving. I took notice of Lake Lenape, so many for sale signs. Anyway, just like to thank you all. That's about it we got.
Thank you, Ben. Janice?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Janice McGovern, and I'm running for re-election to the Andover Township Committee. My family and I feel very fortunate to call Andover our hometown. We've lived here for 28 years. I'm a former teacher and worked at Vernon Township High School for almost 10 years. I also owned and operated a gift and antique business on Spring Street in Newton for a number of years. Currently, I'm a real estate sales rep specializing in residential home sales. My background has given me insight and experience that I feel has been a valuable asset to the Andover Township Committee, and it's my hope to be able to continue to do so for another term. When I ran for my first term in 2012, I focused on government transparency and fiscal responsibility. I encouraged the Township Committee to vote to work on the budget process as an entire committee, and also include open public workshops. When it was time to begin the 2014 budget, everyone was finally on board with me, which was not,
Great song.
Mrs. Warren, I turned this off.
And now that that's happened, I should have made the announcement. If anyone's phone is on, would you please turn it off?
And Bruce Springsteen does
Thank
rock.
you.
But anyway, when I got everyone finally on board, and that wasn't an easy feat. Anyway, the 2014 and 15 budgets were both put together with input from all the committee members, all 5 committee members, and open to the public during our work sessions. Our Finance Committee is composed of Tom Walsh, Dolores Blackburn, Gail McGorr, CFO, Vita Thompson, and Ray Serenelli. But we were all included as a committee in that budget process for the past 2 years, and I'm sure it will continue. We also had open contract negotiations, and we've made great strides to help the town in years to come through changes. And I'd just like to thank the Republican Club, Bill Howe, Tony Zimmer, and Scott.
Thank you very much, Jenny. Thank you. Mike?
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you, Tony, the League of Women Voters, residents of Andover Township for coming out today, and fellow candidates. It's great to be here. I think that transparency is absolutely the most important thing for fair, honest, and effective government. Ever since we started doing our budget sessions and open public meetings, it's amazing how it's gone a lot smoother, and there's not as much contention when it comes time to passing the budget, because people know exactly what we're dealing with and what we can and cannot control. I think our committee has done a fantastic job of meeting the needs of our residents and maintaining the level of services provided. We're also managing the taxes when almost every line item has suffered an increase due to rising costs and contractual obligations. I'm proud to serve this great town, feel confident that we will continue to do so in my next term if given the opportunity. Once again, thank you all very much, and let's get on with the debate.
Thank you very much. We'll start with the first question, and it's going to Ben. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, thanks.
Okay, everyone speaks about ratables, and what's your plan to bring in new ratables? If you were on the committee, how would you propose to do that?
Actually, the thing I hear most of complaints is the cost factor. For businesses, existing businesses that want to come, that we need to work harder to do a smoother transition, streamline any and everything that we can do to bring businesses to Andover Township. The cost factor seems to be a factor of most people that I talk to, but what it costs before they ever get any concrete in the ground or a stick. It's just up there, and I'm sure if we work hard, we can make it happen. You got to really be involved and get involved, because honestly, we certainly do need a bigger tax base to help our taxes. And commercial and industrial, it'll help us. Unfortunately, we've had one where it slipped by due to lawsuits and the like. I sat on the land use board for 5.5 years. We tried, they've tried very hard, anyone on the land use board, and I thank them all for that, for their services.
Okay, Mike?
Ratables, well, it's pretty amazing because we have 25 new businesses that have chosen to domicile in our town. We're filling up empty storefronts and buildings. We are enticing businesses and professional services to our town. I'm not so sure we want to do industrial, but I would focus more on small businesses and professional services. We've passed ordinances to make the town more friendly, more business friendly. We've actually put together a checklist for new businesses coming to the town to navigate the permitting and zoning process. This saves them thousands on lawyers and engineering fees. And we've actually have inspectors on call to ensure that the opening process goes as smooth as possible. And I gotta tell you, I meet with every business that has opened in this town in the past couple years, and I have to tell you that they unanimously say it has been a smooth process. They're very happy the way everything went, and they're very happy to be in the town. We look forward to doing more. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Excuse me. Yes.
Once again, of those businesses that I talk to, and you're willing to go with me, I'll take you can talk to them. The cost factor, we need to streamline, we need to keep the costs down. And we did lose, by the way, if you all don't know, that Cambridge would have been $350,000 to $500,000 rateable. And that's unfortunate, we lost them at this point.
And Janice,
Thank you.
if you need me to repeat the question, also don't hesitate.
Ready? Right now, as of 2015, the net business value in Andover Township is just over $82 million. And the net tax that we get from that business is $2,915,000. So that is a major chunk of what we have to do as far as what we have to raise for our taxes from our tax base. I do think that we need more businesses, and I think what we have to do is, the key word is market. We have to market Andover so that people know it's a great place to do business.
Okay. I would like to kind of have a part two to that in a way, because I was looking through some articles earlier, and I came across one by Rob Jennings actually, about the census and the fact that we're losing people. So what would you do to try to be more attractive? People seem to be moving toward the urban areas. What would you do to make Andover more of a viable place for people to stay and not
For
leave?
me or from what? Me or-
And this is for Mike.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So the exact question, I'm sorry?
This is yeah, the question is, with people leaving the area, I believe it was 181,
84.
184? Okay. What would you do to try to keep people from leaving? All right? You can't really bring them back, but what would you do as the township committee person?
Okay. Well, that's not only Andover Township, that's pretty much systemic across Sussex County, and other towns have lost a lot more percentage-wise. That's a sign of our economy. The county, northern New Jersey, is suffering just basically due to the economic conditions. What we can do is just make Andover Township as attractive as possible, which means you want a very good school system, because let's face it, most people move into the town with children when they see a good school system. That will also help our tax base by making sure that our houses are kept full, and you're not going to have these problems of people leaving the town.
Thank you, Janice.
Andover Township has beautiful parks, trails, and lakes. It should be something that we actively market to attract residents to our town, and also visitors, and of course, business. I think that Andover is kind of a unknown. We don't have our own post office per se. We have a lot of different mailbox addresses. Our main venue of business is the Newton Sparta Road, only it's in Andover Township. I think it's the job of everyone who wants to be involved to get the message out that Andover is a great place to live, work, and play.
Thank you. Ben?
Once again, I want to talk about working towards streamlining and doing what we can to get businesses here. I'm not talking about, when I say this, I'm not talking about, let's say, the chocolate. I'm talking about ratables, like that 350, that 500,000. Jump Airport eventually, I don't know how that's going to be zoned and all. When I was a young man, the farmer's market was one thriving, busy place. I worked there for several years. If I go down 206, I can count the storefronts. I know a lady's losing her place's taxes. It's a commercial store. She's losing it to taxes in this town. I deal with her very often. She calls me frequently. What I say, once again, what we need to do is try our hardest to streamline and keep the costs down. When anyone is ready to go and sit with the people I talk to, and they will tell you what I'm telling you, I'm not saying it, what it costs. It's not true. It's costing them a lot of money, and we need to change that. We need to streamline that. And I'm just, one second. And honestly, the whole thing is, my point is, to get to the point is, people are leaving because of taxes. I know it's not just here. It's everywhere, but I can't worry about everywhere. I'm here. I live here.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, the next question will go to Janice. And I'm going to read it exactly as it's written. If the President of the United States can only hold office for 2 terms, why should a committee person serve longer?
I don't know.
Or maybe, do you believe that a committee person should serve longer than 2 terms?
I never really thought about it. I think there's a tremendous difference between the presidency of the United States and a township committee member. I don't mean any disrespect to any of us who are on the township committee, but it is a difference. I never really thought about term limits. I think that people should know when it's time to go, when you know that you've been someplace too long, or that you've worn out your welcome, you should be able to realize that on your own and know that it's time to let someone new with some new ideas, new set of eyes come aboard.
Thank you. Thank you. Ben?
I like everything you said, Janice. Thank you. My comment would be is it's really up to the people. I mean, quite frankly, as we see here tonight, if I'm not here, there is no choice. So by that being said, people, take pride in your town, go out and run. Don't be afraid, run. If you feel you can do a better job, or you think you can do a better job, go out and run. And that's why I'm here tonight, because I really feel my heart is in this. I've been to these meetings for many years, been coming here for probably 10 and a half years. And that's why I'm running, because I really feel I could do a better job. My heart's in it, and we'll see what the people decide on June 2nd.
Okay, Mike?
We've spoken about this many times, term limits. I can tell you, it takes about a year or 2 just to get your feet on the ground and understand what's required as a committee person. Once again, I couldn't agree more. The president is a lot different than a committee person in town. We are basically helping to run the town, getting to know the people, getting to know what needs to be done, the services, the employees, everything like that. So term limits are exactly what the election is for. If you don't feel the person is doing a good job, yes, you do vote them out. But once again, I don't see any correlation between the President of the United States and a committee person. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next question, we'll start off with Ben for this one. And it's regarding medical benefits in the position of township committee person. Do you feel that township committee person should collect medical benefits, especially when that person owns their own business or works for another company and receives medical benefits elsewhere? How do you feel about that?
Person you're asking, I'll give you a straight answer. I've talked to the committee numerous times. I don't agree with it. I will never agree with it. I have paid for my benefits as a young man, got married, paid for my benefits. It should be more of what you're given, not what you're taking. Folks, I don't know if you know it, them benefit packages that we actually allow to go on, there's only a few. Actually, we got rid of one last year, thank you. They're the best benefits money can buy, the best. I've never known anyone to tell me they're, not. The best benefits. And honestly, you elect me, that's a benefit package you will not be paying for that would cost taxpayers of this town $25,000. I would love to see that money go to rec, to the roads. We could buy a crack filling machine we need desperately. Them kind of things, that's what I look at. More about giving, not taking. And I'm being very sincere in what I'm telling you. I'll do anything to help anyone and anybody. And I thank you.
Mike, how do you feel about that?
It's been, well, obviously personally directed. It's been 4 terms that we've gone through this debate. This is a state rule, a state law. You can't, it would have to go to a referendum, which would be a non-binding referendum. But more importantly, it's not about the cost, it's what's the person doing for the town. First year on the job, I saved the town, or made the town $25,000 in interest alone. Over the years, we have done shared services, we've eliminated positions. We have saved this town hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if you want to quibble about, well, I mean, if you take the benefit package and you put it to every man, woman, and child, according to the 2010 census, it comes out to about $2.80 a year for each person in the town. So when you're doing the right thing and saving the town hundreds of thousands of dollars, I don't think that's really an issue.
Yes, Ben?
Done? I would say I have to disagree. I understand if you're doing a good job. At the same time, you can still do that good job. We have 3 committee people that do not take those benefits. And the fact of the matter is it's hundreds of thousands that it has cost us.
Yes.
The other committee people do get benefits through the state, which are the exact same benefits, but through their spouses. And other people do have spouses that offer them benefits. I'm a self-employed individual. I don't have those benefits.
Okay, Janice, how do you feel about that?
This has been an issue for, it seems, ever. Benefits are a cost to taxpayers. But, as I said, it's an issue that's been out there, and I think that if it is as important an issue as it seems to be to some people, then I think that that can be shown at the polls. And if you're dead set against it, then don't vote for anyone who receives benefits. If you feel that it is not an issue, then again, continue in the way that you're voting. I can't say yes, I can't say no. It's a cost, and it's been out there forever. I don't know how it can be rectified.
Okay. All right, Mike. Andover provides great services to its residents. How do we maintain these services while holding the budget in check?
That's the challenge we face every year, and that's the one thing I will not sacrifice is the services. I remember at the last debate, Mr. Bensley said that he was going to take away brush service. I don't think that by cutting services to the town, you're doing anybody a favor. We have garbage, we have police, DPW, dispatch. All these things make Andover the great town that it really is. And if you're going to start cutting services, that's going to be something that will affect everybody and their taxes because property values will go down. We've talked about the garbage service many times. All that is a transfer of the expense from the town where we get a better rate to the individuals that aren't going to have that kind of leverage. So when we talk about services, we have to maintain the services and we have to figure out a way to make that work inside the budget, which we have been doing very well.
Thank you. Janice?
As far as maintaining services, I also believe that they shouldn't be cut. I think people depend on what Andover provides for them. It was particularly difficult this year because Andover lost $3 million in ratables due to tax appeals. And we still kept services at the level that they had been at in the prior year. And our taxes did go up this year, but we managed to keep it, I'm hopeful, to everyone at a tolerable rate. Thank you.
Ben?
I'd like to respond to Mike's comments regarding what I said. Let me make myself clear. What I was really saying is, I'm around town all the time. Some people happen to think we're their tree service. When you see mountains of brush, it's time to hire a tree company. I understand our guys have other things to do. I could see a pile of brush. It's not a pile of brush. When you can see a pile of brush from that corner, I used to do all this stuff, to over to that light, That is not brush pick. That's ridiculous. Honestly, it is. We're not clearing lots, folks, and you guys know it. That piles of brush, some people want to line up their lawn. Listen, it's okay to do the brush pickup. Let's be fair and sensible. We all live here. And for our services, I wouldn't cut any services. So, misunderstanding there that, no. I just don't like the idea when I see that much brush, I'm saying, wait a minute, what are our guys, a tree service? I mean, they have other jobs to do, many. And it really, it takes a lot away from them if they have to keep going back. So all I say to all the residents, be fair about it. Don't make them your tree service.
Janice, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I did. As a committee, we did notice that that was an issue, and I believe that our DPW had the burden of being a brush service whenever anyone put any kind of materials of that nature out. They picked it up for months at a time, probably went for a 6-month period. Now we have limited it to a month in the spring and a month in the fall. And that's it, and then it's over. So we did try to contain costs in that manner.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for you, Janice, and it is, should all residents pay their fair share of real estate taxes, even committee people?
I'm not sure that I understand the question. Can you repeat it?
Mhm. Should all residents pay their fair share of real estate taxes, even committee people?
Well, I would say yes, and I would say that we do. I mean, everyone gets a tax bill, and the only two things you're sure of in life is that you pay taxes and you'll die. So
Got that right.
I don't understand the question. I
Okay.
think that we all pay our taxes, and whether or not it's fair, well, who knows?
Okay, Ben?
I would say certainly, the way it's done is whether you're assessed, how you're assessed, everyone's assessed the same way for the square footage. And that's exactly how it's done for what you have as far as fixtures, a 2-car garage, a 3-car garage, it's based on that. So, it's funny, I just want to add this. I was taking some classes, and it's just interesting when people say I pay my fair share. I don't know what the fair share is. I mean, taxes keep going. What I'm getting at is this. Somebody has a house and they want to do a tax appeal. And they go ahead and they say, what do you think your house is worth? What I'm getting at is that the house has a lower value they want to be taxed on. Honestly, do I think everybody pays their fair share? I would hope so.
Mike?
Well, the good news is if anybody feels that we're not paying our fair share, that we are having a reevaluation next year. So that would quell any kind of accusations if somebody's making an accusation. But I don't see how the committee people pay anything different. Our houses are assessed as the assessors see fit, and that's what's paid. So
Right.
I don't understand the premise
Okay.
of that question.
Okay. The next question goes to Ben.
Sure.
And what is it about Andover Township that you would never want to change? And how would you ensure it would remain that way?
What I like about it is the rural character. I've been around here my entire life. I never want it to be city-like, but I can't see that happening anyway. We do not have sewers, so I don't see how that would really happen. The waters that we have, the bodies of water that run through here, the Pequest, there was a development that came in down here by the airport. We looked at it and all, and before you know it, they were shot down by the state because there's a Class C1 stream. So I don't think you're ever going to see anything real crazy like, but again, I'm not on the planning board, land use zoning. Couldn't tell you even what's going on right now, but I don't see it ever becoming like a city-like, because I don't see where they'd ever put sewers, although I hear about it often. I just don't see it.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. What is it about Andover Township that you would never want to change? And how would you ensure it would remain that way?
Well, me on the committee for another term would be the first thing. No, I'm kidding. I love the rural characteristic of our town. I like our employees, our services that we all enjoy. And like I said, I will do everything in my power to continue those services. But I like I said, the rural characteristic. I don't think industry belongs in this town. Maybe out where the paving plant was, that was up for debate. But I like the way our town is set up. And like I say, just keeping it as rural as possible, but once again, bringing in good quality professional services and businesses, small businesses. I would like a small town center, but once again, we do have our restrictions with the water. So, thank you.
Jen?
1 second.
Thank you. My answer is basically the same as Ben and Mike's. I wouldn't want to change the rural character of Andover Township. I think it's a beautiful place to live. As I said, we've been here for 28 years. I hope to be here for a longer period than that. And I think also the way to maintain that is again through how development is managed. And I think we're all in agreement that we do need good, clean ratables, and we need to work on marketing our town so that we can get some of those in, and also be sure to help the businesses that are already in our town, make sure that we help them to maintain stable and grow and prosper.
Did you want to say something?
Just that when Mike said about industrial, that's where I would hope it would stay, down there where the quarry and all that is going on, truck after truck and all, that's where it would be industrial, to keep it down that way. And that quarry's been there for many years, and there's like, I believe it's like 80 or 90 acres. Certainly it could fit something over there. That's where we lost Cambridge.
Okay, thank you. Mike,
Thank you.
this question is for you. Well,
Start.
if faced with the option of increasing a taxpayer's annual taxes by $50 or laying off 2 town employees, which would you choose? It's a rough crowd tonight, huh?
Yeah, really. You know, I'm not big on hypothetical situations, but I will address that. Depends on the service, depends on what position they held or hold. Once again, you can't cut the services. So, you know, like I said, it's hypothetical. You know, if it's the dog catcher, we already got rid of the dog catcher. We did shared services. So where we have been able to cut and where we have the ability to, we have made those cuts. In fact, from 10 years ago, we're 15 employees down. So we have done what was needed to be done. We have cut where we can cut, and we have maintained the level of services that this town and the residents deserve and enjoy. Once again, hypothetical question, but I think that we've already proven that this committee has done what is needed to be done to ensure the services stay, and we've minimized the amount of people doing it, and still
So
effectively.
you don't want to make a choice out of those 2?
You can't make a choice unless I know what position it is. I'm sorry, it's a hypothetical question.
Janice?
It is a hard question because of the ambiguity of it. 2 employees, who knows who they are? And I think it's kind of, when I listen to that question, pulling a number from the air, because who knows if whatever 2 employees you're choosing will be equal to the $50 increase in your taxes. So I think it's also kind of a trick question. I don't really think that there is a way to answer it. But I will say this, if it's $50 extra, and the question is pick 2 employees, I would probably, in a budget process vote, raise taxes $50 and keep 2 employees, because all the employees that we have, we've said, Where are you going to cut any further? Thank you.
Ben?
Once again, it is hypothetical. What employees and how important is their job to the town, what they would do, how it would affect us. That would all have to be judged at that time. And that's the only way I would be able to give you an honest answer, just to say, okay, let's cut a couple help. Who, what service? You know, I would say I really can't give an honest answer without really knowing what, who, from where.
Okay, Mike, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just haven't thought about it for a second or two. I agree with Janice, and the committee has done that. Where we've needed to, we have eliminated the employees instead of raising the taxes, and where we can't lose any more and cut services, we have raised the taxes. So the committee has done exactly as we see, as that question asked, when the service was no longer needed, or we were able to outsource it or consolidate it, we have. And then unfortunately, yes, we have raised the taxes as well.
Okay. This next question is for Janice. What single accomplishment are you most proud of during your committee service?
Well, I mentioned it in my opening statement because I am very happy that this happened. And that was one of the things that I ran on was open, transparent government. And prior to that, not that there was anything wrong with the budgets, but the budgets were done in committee. And I didn't think there was enough opportunity for the residents to ask questions. And then my first year on the committee, when I was new to the budget process, I didn't think I had enough opportunity to ask questions, which is why I pushed, and everyone did go along with it finally, to have our budget done basically as a committee of the whole, and with open, what am I trying to think? I keep looking at that sign. With open, open to the public workshops. That was it. Thank you.
Ben, what would you propose would be your proudest moment if you were on the committee?
If I were on the committee,
Yes. What is in your mind, what is like, oh, if I'm there, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm dreaming of doing.
we keep talking about it, the
Township.
businesses that we need to streamline, we need to do the best
What do you
we
mean
can.
by streamline?
The cost factor, it costs a lot of money. I would have to take you, we'd sit down, we'd talk with the business owners. Anything that we can do to help businesses that are existing, that want to come here. There's a fella down there, I believe he's gone. He pays $20,000 a year in taxes. He wanted to put up a building, things expired. I don't know exactly the details how. Maybe some way could have worked something out where he could have put up another building, $20,000. There's no children coming out of that business. They're the kind of things I'm talking about. That, you know, could we work with him? Have we ever tried? If it's not working, change it. We need ratables, folks. We need a nice tax base to help keep our taxes from naturally always coming from the homeowner, because that's what's driving them out. And we talk about it a lot, and I'm not saying our committee, I'm talking in general. I've spoke about this at a freeholder meeting. What can we do as much as possible?
Okay. All right, Mike?
Well,
You're on the committee, so.
Yes.
What are you most proud of that you've accomplished?
Looking back, I mean, the committee's done a lot of things, but I would probably have to say that the first month being on the committee, walking into the CFO's office and just basically bringing my business knowledge to the table and asking him how much we were getting on our $4 million account. And when he told me what it was, I knew that it was way low, and basically walked out, did some research, went across the street to a bank and found out we get 4 times that amount. So the very first month in office, I made the town $25,000, and I realized that, you know, I didn't make too many friends by doing that at town hall, because it did require some work for them to transition over in the status quo. You always rock the boat a little bit, but you know, that's what we're here for. We're not here to make friends. We're here to make sure that the business, town is run like a business, people are held accountable, and we're doing the very best for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this next one is for Ben. I'm going to ask you, and I'm pretty sure that most of you do support shared services. Well, do you support shared services? And what do you think the advantages and disadvantages of sharing services with one or more municipalities entails? And just from learning the history of the township and the success and maybe some failure, how do you feel about that from now on when approaching shared service opportunities?
I would say shared services, certainly I would hope and think they work, that one town may have one piece of equipment, we may not have to buy that piece, we can borrow it, and vice versa. And in that aspect, you can save money. It makes more sense that, why would you go out and buy, for an example, one town has 2 or 3 sweepers, borrow theirs, or a crack filling machine, a roller, a paver. I kind of like that idea for sure, because it is a savings if we do not have to take out of pocket, and vice versa. They can borrow things that we have. I like that. It's a savings.
Sorry, Mike.
I love shared services. We already have over 25 in place, from our tax assessor, tax collector, the building and zoning department, dispatch, CFO, most recently the courts. We brought in 3 other towns that are now assisting our courts. This helps us in maintaining the court system and also helps us with our budget process by bringing money into the town to help with that. We have great relationships with the Newton DPW. Darren, our DPW head, is here, and I gotta tell you, does a fantastic job of working with the other towns. I know that we have street sweepers, we have vacuums for the drains that we share with Newton, and you know, that's just a huge savings. We have a brining system, truck wash system, numerous, and we have been doing it, and we will continue to look. I'm all for shared services whenever possible, and even shared jobs in town hall.
Janice?
I also am a proponent of shared services. I think for it to be successful, you have to do it wisely. I think that we have done it in a very well-educated nature. Mike mentioned he mentioned everything that I could think of that we already use for shared services. I know one in specific with our CFO, Gail McGora, is a shared service with Lafayette. She's an amazing job. Our DPW shares services with Newton also saves us money. And with our joint court system in place, that has cost us money up front. However, we will see revenue from that this year and next year and into the future.
Great, thank you. Okay, the next question